back to Tim and we'll go around is that one of the critical areas that we are wrestling with in the Lehigh Valley economy, because we are such a manufacturing center. We have the 50th largest economy in the United States in manufacturing output, which is pretty significant because we're only the third largest region in Pennsylvania. But we're a manufacturing center and growing, and the notion that America doesn't make anything anymore is not accurate. Not here in the Lehigh Valley. We have 700 plus different manufacturers here making everything from food and beverage products to medical devices to guitars to all kinds of assorted things. And they need, the way manufacturing is moving is obviously more technology, more automation, and a higher need for skills on the shop floor. And the way that we've primarily been serving that in the Lehigh Valley is through the vocational technical schools, of which we have 3 very good ones, and the community colleges, of which we have 2 very good community colleges. The challenge that those schools run into is the cost to find trainers. If you're a highly skilled plumber, you can make a lot in the free market. They pay a lot less to go train kids to be a plumber. And secondly, the cost of the technology, the equipment, and the space in order for school districts to come up with that. So one of the issues we've been running up against recently is the programs are filled, but they can only turn out maybe 20 or 30 graduates a year. So the region can only produce maybe 50 or 60 skilled students in a particular area coming out of that. If I could ask for your comments a little more about a focus. If you were in Congress, what would you do, whether it was federal government, pulling a federal government lever, or just a general leadership lever around this issue of skilled trades and development of resources within the region to better meet the demand of what we're seeing economically, the type of jobs that most people tell us they want to see, which are manufacturing jobs?
Yeah, I mean, is it me? It is?
Yes.
Yeah. Manufacturing, you said, I mean, I think it's 18% of our GDP, is that right, in the Lehigh Valley?
And in the U.S. it's only 11%.
Exactly, so we're making stuff here. I know that's your line, I stole your line. but it's a good line and it's true, which by the way comes back to trade as well. It's a good reason not to interrupt the resources here because we are making stuff. But at any rate, you said as we talked about, I think these are things that should be handled more by states and local governments who know more of their own needs than at the federal level. But that said, you also mentioned the leadership level. A leadership level would be to talk about, why does every kid have to go to college? I mean, that is part of the problem, is that as a society, in America, there seems to just be this notion that everyone must go to school. We must give everyone who goes to school college loans for 4 years that ultimately end up jacking up the price of college to be to the uncontrollable levels where they are now, which kids then get saddled with that debt. They don't necessarily even know what to do with their lives. And meanwhile, there are these jobs available that could be great jobs for people. So I think that would be a good start, that it's sort of just a rite of passage for politicians across the political spectrum, that to say every student deserves a college education and must go to college, and that has to be how we do things. Why does it have to be that way? I think that's part of the problem, and part of the imbalance right now of what you're describing is because of that.
Thanks. Marty?
Yeah, these are skilled labor jobs. I mean, these are not entry-level jobs. So job training is very important. I understand it's expensive to train a workforce. Our community colleges have done a great job. They're expanding as well. Everything from truck drivers, which we need. Well, we may not, there's a lot of trucks out there, but yeah,
we do have a shortage.
I know, there is, believe it or not, I can't believe that. Every time I hear there's a shortage of truck drivers, but you haven't been on 22, have you? There's a shortage of truck drivers. And those are high-paying jobs. So, encouraging these kids to get in these programs is step number 1. I agree. A 4-year college education may not be for everybody, but there's a lot of hard-working people in this Lehigh Valley right here. We need to let them know what's out there. But we also got to encourage the employers as well. Start developing their own workforce. Train them in-house. We have a lot of hard-working people right here. Let's train them in-house before we start looking outside other places. But as a congressman, I mentioned it before. A community center that provides workforce development, education programs. That's something I want to see, where people can go to after school, learn a trade, and have a good living waiting for them afterwards. This is important. And it's important to us here in the Lehigh Valley because we do have some strong manufacturing. You know, I think 2 years ago we heard manufacturing jobs are gone and they're only coming back with the wave of a magic wand.
Yeah.
Well, they're back here and they're going strong and they're not slowing down. So we need to find people to work.
Susan, would you like to expand on your answer?
Sure. I think that the most important thing at the federal level is for Congress to partner with with local governments, local businesses, local industries, to make sure that the representatives, and in my case, as Congresswoman to the 7th District, I'd want to work with the businesses here to make sure that we are doing the most that we can do to help these industries fill out their workforce, because that's how our economy grows. One of the things that I think would be most beneficial would be to create pathway programs where employers have the opportunity to partner, to match prospective employees with this particular employer or industry, so that they can help them to become trained in the area that will suit them for that particular industry or employer. I don't think anybody up here is suggesting that everybody needs to go to college, Tim. I haven't heard that from politicians for a long time. I think everybody here acknowledges that there are different things float everybody's boat, or whatever the saying is. We really need to focus on what the actual skills are, what skills are needed. I think we have to always be looking forward, and we've got to make sure that the people we are training are not going to be stuck in the present, that they're going to be able to adapt to whatever the next generation of industry and employers are right here in the Lehigh Valley.
Thank you.